Okay, so today we're gonna do a totally different video. There is no workout today, but we're gonna be talking about something very interesting. It's an interesting concept that I kind of got into when I started running. So it's called the heart rate training zones. So basically, your heart rate is the indication of how much you're actually working, your indication of efforts, of the intensity of your workouts, especially on the cardiovascular system, but also on anaerobic movements like weightlifting, right? So the idea here is that when you're doing a cardio training, your heart rate is going to fluctuate depending on what kind of cardio training you're going to be doing. And so today we're going to be talking about what the heart rate training zones are and how you can train accordingly and also change your workouts accordingly, because sometimes you will feel more sleepy, sometimes you'll feel more tired, and you will have a lot of stress, indirect stress, like your lifestyle, your work, or what's happening right now with the situation that we're in, which is stuck at home. So here, I want to basically take a step back actually. So first of all, like I said, the heart rate is the indication of your efforts, but you need to define what is your maximal heart rate. And so there's a simple formula for that. I think they kind of redefine the formula, but that one gives you a pretty good estimate of what it is, which is basically your max heart rate, which is HR, is 220. So this number minus your age. And in this example, I took 30 as an age, and it's going to give you a maximum heart rate of 190. So for the examples, we're just going to take 30 as an age, and then we'll see from there. Because basically, when you do zone training, you're going to basically base the zones depending on your maximal heart rates. So I have this sprints, which is basically the different exercise zones that will basically start at 50% of your maximal heart rates and then go up from there. So basically from 50 to 60%, it's really, really light intensity. It's basically you're walking, you're gonna go get some bread, come back home. That's probably around there. And then from 60 to 70, you're more, walking fast. You'll probably do that for a long period of time, and the intensity is a bit, there's more efforts involved to that. But, you can still talk. You don't feel any fatigue on your legs, but it's just, probably getting like kind of a small sweat because you're walking fast, right? And then there is from 70 to 80. So basically, actually, it goes from zone 1 to zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. And so from 70 to 80, it's zone 3, which is the aerobic zone, which a lot of people, especially runners, they like to run is probably 80% of the time in this zone 3, because it's basically an area where you're running, you can still talk, and you're not really struggling. You could basically run it forever, right? And I have this saying that I really like to say, because for me, I started running last year seriously, and I started doing the first marathon, and I strongly believe that anybody can actually run a marathon with a little bit of training, as long as they run it at their right pace. And the right pace can be defined with this kind of zone training. And I strongly believe that a lot of people can do a lot of long distance with zone 3 type of training, because you don't feel like you're working a lot. Of course, your muscle needs to be adapted to that, but when your muscle are adapted in this zone, you don't feel any fatigue in these muscles, right? So it's pretty comfortable. From zone 3, so it's from 70 to 80% of your maximal heart rate. And then there is the anaerobic heart rate, which is about 80 to 90%. But let's be realistic. So we say anaerobic, but actually when you're lifting, you're more toward this zone 3 kind of training. So when you say anaerobics, it's usually we're talking about really, for example, when you're running really fast. You're not sprinting to your fullest potential, but you're running really fast, and you will be struggling to talk. Think of it as when you're trying to catch the bus, I would say, or even catching the bus might be maximal effort, but let's say toward the end of a run, you just want to kind of burn a little bit more, you just kind of like accelerate a little bit faster. So you're going to be in that range between 80 to 90%, which is zone 4, which is the anaerobic zone. So this one is going to create more fatigue in your muscles, and you're going to feel the lactic acid start building up in your muscle, and also you're going to feel that you're going to get run out of breath, right? So you can't really maintain that one for a long period of time. You can maintain it for probably 10-15 minutes, depending on how trained you are. And then the last one, they call it the VO2 max, which is maximal efforts, from 90 to 100%, which is zone 5. And that one is basically you're actually running really fast, and you can't really maintain it for a long period of time. I would say less than 3 minutes, because you actually think of it as survival. You know, someone is chasing you. Yeah, there's a lion behind you. That's maximal effort. You're trying to catch the buzz. That's maximal efforts, depending on how trained you are. But yeah, so 90 to 100%. It's pretty intense, because to be honest, when I train myself and when I do sprints, I never really get to that level. I get more toward that zone 4, close to zone 5, but never really zone 5 for a long period of time. Because I feel it can be very counterproductive, because it fatigues your muscles a lot, and also it makes it takes longer for you to recover from that. So high intensity is something to do in moderation, because it puts a lot of stress on your muscles and your joints, not just the muscles. So do it depending on your goals. So if you're a sprinter, you might be more toward this 2, and also a little bit here, zone 3. But if you're a long distance runner, or just someone who doesn't even do that much cardio, you're just on the elliptical, you're gonna spend more time toward these 3 zones. And of course, I highly recommend you to do some high intensity workouts. So here and there in zone 4, because it's gonna allow you to burn more muscle mass. Fat mass. So it's gonna burn more fat, and also it will allow you to build this performance aerobic. So it will allow you to, first of all, do more reps when you're lifting. So if you're a weightlifter, it will allow you to do more reps, and also it will allow you to just to have a really strong cardiovascular system. So I like to be balanced. So personally, I like to do 1 day of sprints, 1 day of moderate pace, or more zone 3, zone 4, and then one more zone 3, which is more long distance. So I like to be balanced depending on your goals, right? So if you want to be fast, focus on zone 5, 4, and a little bit of 3. If you want to do long distance, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4 a little bit, and I put a lot of details in the Gymaholic article. I'm gonna put the link below. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Zone training, you don't have to. So me, I use a smartwatch to track my heart rates, and it's really good because it kind of like discipline yourself to really stay in that zone, because it's really easy for you to, like, let's say you feel good, you're like, oh, I want to push more, but it's very counterproductive to when you have like a really good structure in your plan. You really need to stick to the plan, and kind of focus on, for example, when you do sprints, you do sprints. When you do long distance, you do long distance. But you don't aim for that for the same heart rates. Yeah, so give it a try. And like I said, you actually don't need a smartwatch. It's kind of a feeling of it. Like I said, some zones you can talk while doing them. It's called the talk test. If you're able to talk, you're probably in zone 3 and below. If you're struggling to talk, you're more in zone 4 and above. So yeah, give it a try. Tell me what you think, and I will see you next time.